John, it'll be no consolation, but if a neutral's watching that, it's an incredibly entertaining, exciting game of football. But does it sum up kind of the good and bad of Accrington Stanley this season?
You know, we've got to improve defensively. We've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. You keep conceding goals, you're giving yourselves a mountain to climb. We did it again today. You know, we were 3 down after about 22 minutes, 23 minutes. Could have been 5, to be honest. Like. Could have been 1 up ourselves before they scored. The age-old thing, if you don't take your chances and you gift goals, you know, it's heartbreaking really, because you see how hard the lads work. You know, I think Sheffield Wednesday deserved to win. I think they were a better team on the day. One of the best teams that's come here, to be honest. But we give them trouble, and you shouldn't have to score 4 goals to win a game at home. And unfortunately that's happening too often to us this season. So,
is the most concerning thing that I think it was 9 minutes you conceded the 3 goals in? Is that almost becoming psychological? 1 becomes 2, becomes 3?
I know. We spoke about that in the changing rooms. You know, it's self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? You know, you can't go down them roads. We've just got to improve. We've got to improve as a team. We've got to pass the ball better. You know, we were guilty of giving the ball away. We got ourselves into great opportunities to miscontrol the ball on the edge of their box, time and time and time again. And so, you know, just a slight improvement on that will give you more chances to score. And then as a team, as an 11, we've got to work hard on stopping the ball coming into our goal. And, you know, we've tried different formations and it's just not working at the moment. So, you know, back to the drawing board, and hopefully we'll come up with a plan that can keep us in the game, really. Because, you know, two weeks running we've been 2 goals down at half time. Shouldn't be the case at home. You know, I thought our fans were terrific today. Got behind us all the way. But I've got to appreciate that Sheffield Wednesday are a good side, but there's areas that we need to improve on if we're going to compete in this league, and we want to compete in this league.
You said back to the drawing board. Does that mean you're considering all options? You might change something radically?
I don't know whether I've got the options to change things radically. You know, that's probably lost another midfielder in Tommy Lee now. You know, so you've got quite a few midfielders out of contention already. Morg's just limping past us there in the boot. So yeah, you know, I don't think there's scope for radical changes because they've got to play.
Is there any indication on Tommy Lee? It didn't look great, did it?
I'll have to find out, mate. You can see what the prognosis is on Monday.
You've still got plenty of goal threat. You've scored in every home game. Is it significant that the goal scorers today, 2 forward players who, in Mansell's case, hasn't scored this season, and Mumbongo's only scored once, can that help them?
I think it can. You know, when Joel scored an unbelievable goal, and then he's got himself into 2 situations on the edge of the box, and he's lost the ball under no pressure. It makes you scratch your head. But unbelievable goal, probably the goal of the day. And you know, Lewis has done well to hook his goal in, and you know, Lewis put himself about. You know, it's tough shoes to fill, Colby's, and he's done it admirably. He competes well. Young kid, still learning his trade. You know, not a lot of football between him, Tommy Lee, Joel Van, Louis, Liam Coyle. You wouldn't have probably 1,000 minutes between all of them. So it's difficult. And you're playing against seasoned pros, good players. Should we be competing with Sheffield Wednesday? Rhetorical question. Well, we're in the same league as them, so of course we should. And whoever we're playing against, it doesn't matter how much money they've got, or how big a club they have, or how big a fan base they've got, we'll compete with them. We'll try our best to compete. Today we just fell short today, and a lot of it was down to our own making. We set up a lot of their attacks by miscontrolling the ball. that's something we've got to improve on, and we'll work on it.
And on the squad and on competition, somewhere where you've got a battle going on is the goalkeeper. You made the decision to change today. How hard is that decision to make every time you pick a team?
You just got to go with what your gut feeling is, and you know what you think's right at the time. Well, Toby hasn't done a great deal wrong. And could you really blame Saf for any of the goals today? Probably not. Feels he got fouled on the first one, but you know, yeah. Some you see them, some you don't. And couldn't really blame for the others. So I think he got himself caught a bit of no man's land for the third one, but I don't think it was down to the goalkeeper today. But it's hard to pinpoint individuals because you can't fault the referee. You know, they've run themselves into the ground against the team. We've got a tough game on Tuesday, you know, to follow that. But you can't fault how hard they work. It's just like us to be a bit better on the ball. Try and replicate what we the patterns that we started to play in training. Try and take them onto the pitch. I know it's difficult because you're under a lot more pressure than what you are in training, but the better players do, and we've got to aspire to be better at everything we do. I've got to aspire to be a better manager. The coaches have got to aspire to be better coaches, and that all goes with experience. And sometimes you have to go through a little bit of pain.